This was an all-time classic.
Pokemon Ranger, I choose you!
What's up, my dear boys and girls, it's Ranger Boy here, and welcome to another review of Pokemon Journey. After the success/redemption that was Lance vs. Diancie, I knew that Iris vs. Cynthia can surely follow up to that one, but I didn't expect this. So even though this episode is already a month old, I still will do a full review of this because at least the Haxorus vs. Garchomp battle was that good. So grab some popcorn, grab some cookies, and let's do this. So the episode starts where we left off with Iris' Excadrill vs. Cynthia's first Pokemon, Gastrodon. After some remembering of some Gen 5 past from both Ash and Team Rocket, Cynthia quickly uses Rain Dance to give her Pokemon some major advantage. Iris then tries to make the first strike with her Metal Claw, but Cynthia's well-trained Pokemon just absorbs that blow and bounces Excadrill back. Iris makes a callback to their first ever encounter during the Black and White days, and just like the Lance vs. Diancie episode, we also get some quick appearances of past characters, including Stefan. Why isn't he called Stefan? Why do you have to call him Stefan? But let's return to the battle. Iris unsuccessfully tried to use Focus Blast thanks to Gastrodon's Muddy Water, and thanks to that, her childhood friend took some major damage. Iris' Excadrill not being able to use Focus Blast. Man, that takes me back. Anyway, Cynthia provides a really epic speech of how she will defeat Iris to move forward. By the way, hey Flint, you being in the Masters 8? Didn't really work out, huh? And she once again absorbs one of Iris' attacks with Gastrodon's Dissolve. And Ash being the one explaining that move. If I'm being honest here, that's kinda weird. The Xenochamp answers back that attempt with another powered up Muddy Water, and Iris, seeing no hope of getting out of this situation, puts everything on the line with Horn Drill, and she won. Yeah, she risked everything with a one-hit KO move and won the first match. That came out of nowhere. Next up is Cynthia's graceful Milotic, who immediately after coming onto the battlefield dodges Excadrill's Drill Run and defeats him with a powerful looking Hydro Pump. It's time for Iris' reliable brawler Dragonite to enter the big stage, and as much as seeing Dragonite please Cynthia, she really couldn't have been happy about him after getting hit by a Thunder Punch. But the experienced champion doesn't seem to lose any composure. Response with Milotic's disarming voice, wraps around Iris' Pokemon, headbutts her Pokemon with Iron Head, and wins? That was quick. So all of Iris' hopes and dreams rely on her last Pokemon, aka her ace, Haxorus. Counters Milotic's disarming voice with a Psycho Cutter, which even surprised the usual relaxed Cynthia, and in typical Iris style, and I would even say in a typical Ash kind of way, rakes through Cynthia's attacks with her own offense and finishes Milotic off with an absolutely brutal looking Breaking Swipe. Now, each competitor is left with only one Pokemon, Iris and Haxorus, and of course Cynthia with her strongest and most iconic Pokemon, Como! Yeah! Hooray, Como! Just kidding, of course it's Garchomp, who makes an epic entrance including some really menacing music. No, really, just listen to that music. Also, I love how the commentators describe Garchomp as basically a legend of the franchise, as he should be, goddammit! Anyway, it's Haxorus vs. Garchomp. Let's get ready to rumble! Cynthia starts off strong with Draco Meteor, but instead of that move giving Iris Pokemon some PTSD from his battle against Ash, instead he storms through all the meteors with sheer outrage. You know, literally the move outrage. And by the time he reached punching distance, Haxorus even lands some great blows on Garchomp before the legend himself quickly regains control and goes toe-to-toe with the Unova champion's ace. Witnessing the growth of Iris since the last time she saw her, Cynthia pays some respect to Iris by pulling out a lipstick in a really sexy kind of way, turning it around, revealing a Mega Stone, and with that, she now reveals the full extent of her power with Mega Garchomp! And as soon as Cynthia's beast roars through the entire arena, you know shit's going down. We have a Dragon Claw Psycho Cutter clash that sends shockwaves throughout the entire arena, but these two just won't stop the onslaught of attacks, and the more they clash, the more intense this battle gets. After another clash, Iris sees the opening to land a great looking Dragon Pulse, but naturally that one hit won't be enough to take down the one and only. So once again, Iris bets everything on one move to finish it all, and Cynthia, who senses what is about to come, orders her Garchomp to do the same. So both will have one final move. Garchomp and his Draco Meteor raining down the arena, and Haxorus and his Dragon Pulse going up against that, trying to destroy every Meteor before reaching Garchomp. And after the dust is settled, Garchomp shall stand, so Haxorus must fall. That's the end of Iris's Masters 8 journey, but at first she doesn't really seem to be affected by this defeat at all, and instead seems calm and collected like a champion should be, while also trying to encourage her Pokemon. But Ash, as her longtime friend, knew what really went through her mind, and after all the cameras and all the spotlight was gone, and only Ash, Iris and Go are around, Iris allows herself a moment of emotional weakness and just lets it all out. And man, when I saw Iris crying, I cried as well. But I cried because I was really happy and proud of her. And with Iris now cheering Ash from the sidelines, it's Ash's turn against Hoenn champ Steven. So that's the episode. And man, we have a lot to talk. So, ratings. What can I say about the story? Oh, come on, Long. We have a great battle with two of your favorite characters, so it's an automatic 10 out of 10. Let's take a closer look. First of all, just like in the Lance vs Diantha battle, they did the right thing and dedicated the whole episode to this one battle. And because they did that, we now have to break down each and every battle, and as soon as we do that, you guys can kinda tell what Lance vs Diantha did so well and what the Iris vs Cynthia battle didn't do as well. The pacing. Did you really need to give Excadrill vs Gastrodon 7 minutes out of 20? Technically, it wasn't really such a long battle, but they dragged out the battle to be this long with a lot of stalling, the opening, some dialogue, and long emotional speeches from both champions. And as a result of this artificial prolonging of the first battle, the next upcoming battles until the main event really suffered from that. I won't go into detail about those battles, but let me sum up the problem in a way that everybody can understand. Excadrill vs Gastrodon got 7 minutes in its entirety. The next 3 matchups, aka Milotic vs Excadrill, Milotic vs Dragonite, and Milotic vs Haxorus, got a combined total of 5 minutes. And I'm being generous here because I also include dialogue in here as well. Especially Dragonite vs Milotic was my personal letdown because in my opinion this could have been a great match, but instead in my opinion was the one battle who suffered the most from the issue of pacing. But thankfully they fixed the issue with the main event of Haxorus vs Garchomp, and you can tell that they put most of their efforts in regards of story, storyboarding, emotions and animation into this one. And it was even better than I expected. There was a constant sense of intensity in the air throughout this battle, and the music in my opinion was somewhat of the co-MVP alongside the animation. But what I really appreciated about this specific matchup is that just like Lance vs Diantha, they made both Iris and Cynthia look good, and especially with Haxorus landing some significant blows on Garchomp, and with Garchomp basically coming out of those strong attacks unharmed, it really emphasizes the power and the reputation that both Garchomp and Cynthia have. Last but not least, at least in terms of displaying characters as a champion, I really think they did a great job with both females here. Every time Cynthia's Pokemon delivered the final blow or was defeated, she never flinched once. She never lost her composure, was never shocked, and always kept her cool. I think she was a little bit irritated one time, but then she quickly got back of being cool and collected. That is why Cynthia is regarded as the perfect champion. On the contrast of the calm and collected Cynthia, we had Iris, who is known to be a very emotional, a very reactive, and a very impulsive kind of character, which is why she is more than often labeled as the female Ash, because in terms of character traits, they are very similar to each other. And in this episode, you can tell that she is still a rather new champion, because after being defeated, she tries to be like Cynthia and the other champions and be calm and collected. But as soon as the cameras are away from her and she is in her own space, she broke down and wasn't able to hold back her real emotions. Beautiful. So even though Haxorus vs Garchomp was amazing and the display of character was great, the overall inconsistent pacing of all the other battles left a mark on the score, so I will give the story a 8 out of 10. What can I say about the focus? Versus Cynthia, Iris' road to Dragon Master, and I'll be honest here, this is a weird one. The title heavily implies that this battle will help out Iris in a major way towards her dream of becoming a Dragon Master, but in my opinion it really seems like it helped her out more to be a better champion. And before you say it, being a champion and being a Dragon Master is not one and the same thing. It's basically the whole Ash Pokemon Master vs Pokemon Champion argument all over again. Journeys themselves even pointed that out during the Ash vs Iris episode, but I do feel that it sorta did help her out in a way by showcasing the past between between Iris and Cynthia, and how on numerous occasions Cynthia was impressed of how far Iris has come since the first day they met. I honestly just wished they would have put a little bit more emphasis on how exactly a potential victory against Cynthia would have gotten Iris closer to her Dragon Master dream. In a way, the problem with Iris right now is the same problem we had with Ash for decades. The goal itself is just too vague and not really defined enough to really make a clear story out of it, which was also one of Iris's main problems in the black and white anime. No one really knew exactly what she meant when she constantly stated that she wants to be a Dragon Master, and because of the vagueness of her goal, it feels like she got closer to a goal, but I'm not really so sure about that one, to be honest. So it's an 8 out of 10. Last but not least, animation, straight up 10 out of 10. The one weakness that the previous battle had was that in terms of animation, it felt very static, which is very odd since especially Dianta's Gardevoir is known for her speed. But the overall movements and fluidity of the animation of every battle was great and entered some next level shit by the time we entered Haxorus vs Garchomp. There were a lot of impact frames during this battle, and even though the execution of the battle itself was fantastic, by far, my absolutely favorite animation moment was when Cynthia pulled out that lipstick to reveal her keystone. Oh my god, I fell in love with that woman all over again. It's a 10 out of 10. So this episode scores a 8.66 out of 10, unfortunately, and from a personal point of view, I would have loved to give this a 10 out of 10, but my stupid critical brain just wouldn't let me. Anyway guys, I really hope you enjoyed this kinda sorta in-depth review. What is your opinion? Tell me. Just like always, see you guys in the comments down below. Bye guys!